everyone, this is Grandmaster Ahmed and this is the episode 6 of the Reti opening, and in this episode we're gonna talk about the Slav structure C6. First of all, why are you going to face this move C6? Because black, or let's get 2 steps back. For example, I am new to chess, or I wanted to study chess professionally, so I'll start with white for sure, because in tournaments usually you get 4 games or 5 games white, and you know your stuff very well. Or not only you know your stuff very well, you will play what you study very well. But as black, you cannot decide, your opponent will decide either to go e4, d4, c4, knight f3, etc. So, okay, I'll study e4 with everything. So, or for example, say I will study whatever with white. So, one line, either e4 or d4 or knight f3 or c4, one of these 4 is recommended. And as black, I will start studying against e4. Say, for example, I'll study French, for example. And against d4, I'll study the Queen's Gambit decline, for example, c4, c6, or c4, e6. So, my idea is, let's study. For example, 1 month later, I'll start studying about c4. Okay, what if c4? Then what should I do? Okay, I know the Queen's Gambit decline, so I have a very good chance after e6 to transpose. So I will go e6. Let's go back to our lecture now. After knight f3 or knight f3, then d5 is played, c4, c6. Black now, because he is a Slav player, he's hoping that you will be cooperative and you go d4. And after that, he will be happy. Now I am in my great Slav course or Slav knowledge, so everything is fine. But you say, no, everything is not fine and I'm not going to play d4. I am going to play b3 in this position. And why b3? Because in many of Slavs, this idea of dc followed by b5 might be annoying and might require some knowledge or maybe big amount of knowledge. That's one of the reasons we go b3 first. Second, it's kind of continuing what we have talked about. For example, say e6 in this position. This is what's so-called the Catalan we have talked about previously. We go g3, bishop g2, castling, and then we go d4 in order to avoid this bishop b4 check. So it's kind of like you know where you are. So after b3, 2 main ideas for black. Either he go bishop g4 or bishop f5. Bishop g4 is not recommended because this bishop here is not stable at all. At whatever time, you could go knight e5 and harass this bishop. So this bishop cannot be like comfortable here in the whole phase of the game. And if you don't like to do that, you could go either e3, bishop e2, castling, bishop b2, and you have no problem at all as black or as white. So after bishop f5, hoping for the reverse London, and probably you might face this if your opponent is a London player as white, then he will tend to choose this as black. So I'll go bishop b2, e6, and then g3, knight f6, continuing the development of the pieces. Bishop g2, knight b7, castling, and now in this position, sooner or later, h6 is going to be played. Why? In order to save the bishop along this diagonal. This is a very... this is a dear bishop. This is a bishop that has a value for London players. Not in this position, but for London players likes to have this bishop exhausted in the board. So after h6, I'll go d3. Wait a second. Say your opponent play bishop e7. Is it now recommended to go knight h4 and attack the bishop? This is a question for you. The question is not. Why? Because of this move, bishop e4. And after bishop b4, I don't want to exchange these 2, and I don't want to go f3, because after f3, then my pawn structure started to feel ugly now. Bishop g6, and I have to go e4 later on. f4 doesn't seem that right. That's why in this position, I am not going to go knight h4, but I'll go d3 first. This is, by the way, my move. And now if castling, you're not forced to. You can keep it an option. But you can go now knight h4 because there's no bishop here. After bishop g4, h3, g4, bishop g6, you can simply take and you have the bishop pair. For sure, black has a kind of something to fight for, but you also have something to fight for, which is the bishop pair. So after castling h6, I go d3 simply, and now say bishop b7, knight bd2, castling, and now in this position is going to be our plan, is to play rook c1. Other idea which is interesting, you might have seen before, you might not, which is a3. I do love this move. And the point is to go rook a2, queen a1, and then bring the other rook to the game. But let's stick in this lecture with this idea of rook c1. I wanted to go rook c2 and then maybe or most likely to bring the queen to the a1 square along this diagonal. So after rook c1, one of the moves for black, or one of the ideas for black in this pawn structure, is to go b5. If you want to play an optimistic chess, but there's a problem with b5 move. Try to find it. Say you have tried. Knight d4. And after knight d4, you're threatening c6 pawn and you're threatening the bishop. It's very ugly position, and most likely you're gonna have a big advantage. That's why instead he or black should go bishop h7. And after bishop h7, I go rook c2. Now I need to mention a very strategical concept in this structure. A very strategical concept is that you are a piece up, or we are a piece up as white. What? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What are you talking about? What am I talking about is this bishop is attacking now a pawn and only doing this on the board, but I'm protecting a pawn with another pawn. So it seems that what your bishop is doing, my pawn is opposing. So your bishop is doing problems, my pawn can easily solving these problems. That means in this period of the game, I am kind of a piece up according to efficiency. I hope you got this. So after rook c2, one of the ideas either to play now or previous a5, wanted to go a4, improving the rook, and I would like to answer a4 with the b4, but the bishop will take my pawn, so I will go a3. And after a3, like one of each two games you will have, 98 will be one of them. Why? I wanted to go bishop f6 and exchanging the bishops, making my life easier and playing a solid game. So after 98, now after rook c2, you have to be very accurate. I mean, it seems very solid and very normal. No, but move order really differ. So now I take c takes d5. The point is, if c d5, now I go queen a1. But guess what? I am already one step ahead, controlling the open file. So rook fc1 is going to be coming, and you cannot fight me for the open file, and I will seize it alone. That's why after c takes d5, e takes d5 is coming. And now my plan is b4, b5. But slowly I will do that. First of all, I will go queen a1. And after queen a1, I am doing a huge pressure along the diagonal. And in order to get rid of this pressure and improving the pieces, bishop f6 is going to be played. And after bishop f6, now I wanted to go b4, but I cannot because of a takes b4, and I will lose a pawn. That's why in this position, I need to wait for bishop takes b2 first, and after queen b2, I will go b4. So nice waiting little move is rook e1. And I'm waiting. Maybe e4 is coming. I'm not saying that e4 is our idea, because whenever you would like to go e4, you need to make it well timed. Why? Because now the bishop is alive. Why? Attacking a pawn with another pawn. So a piece must be there to protect against this bishop. So after bishop takes b2, I will take back with the queen, and this position I have a slight advantage. And one more idea in this position, and we will finish. Say queen e7, we go b4 takes 6. And now in this position, your idea as white and our idea as white is to go b5. That's great. That's clear. Why b5? Say b5. If he takes, then this pawn structure is super bad. I'll take back with the queen, or even if I don't take, I'll have a very big pawn structure. And if not, for example, like rook d8, regardless of if I'm winning a pawn or not, this is a weak pawn. I will keep like harassing that pawn, and black Slav will be very tough. But there's an issue with this b5 move, which is this move c5. So whenever, either in this structure, or either in this position, or in any type of positions of the same structure, never, practically not advised at all, never go b5 allowing c5. Whenever you want to go b5, because it's kind of your only active idea, your only serious idea as white. So whenever I go b5, I don't want to see c5 there. What can I do? Oh, wait, I can go d4. No, but I cannot go d4. I'll lose my rook. Shall I move my rook? Is it the only way? So I'll go d4 and then b5. If it's the only way, then that's worth it. Okay, move the rook, then d4, and then b5. But this is not the only idea. In this position, I wanted to go knight b3. in order to control the c5 square. But there's an issue with knight b3. I might lose the pawn. So this is my thought process. Imagine that I'm playing a game. I'll go queen c3 first, protecting the pawn, and then I will be coming with the knight to b3, and after that, say for example king h8. I'm coming with the knight. Say after king g8, for example, say b5 is there, but I don't want to sacrifice the pawn. Maybe I am too cautious, so I can go even knight d4. And after knight d4, now I am ready to go with this b5, ruining the pawn structure. Everything is great. One additional idea in this type of structure, you can go anytime knight c5, and the point of knight c5 is provoking this, and then you go with all of the attention to the b7 pawn and attack there, and knight is coming, and again this bishop is out of the game because he's attacking a pawn that's protected with another pawn, so efficiency is 0 or maybe very little for this bishop that worth 3 pawns. The efficiency on the board is worthing only 1 pawn. It's kind of another way to estimate or to evaluate positions. So this is the 6th episode of Mastering the Reti. I hope you like this episode. I hope you learned something, and if you find it useful, and I advise you to look for the rest of the episodes. Many things already talked about: King's Indian structure, Grunfeld structure, and d5 e6 structures, dc structures, many structures. Also, I have done a Chessable course on this Reti opening. You can find it in the description as well. And don't forget to subscribe and share. See you soon.